Hey, it's Matt today with Gridiron Solutions. I want to take a few minutes just to answer this question. How can leaders grow as readers? I have three suggestions for you. The first is that you would learn to read specifically. You and I simply do not have time to read everything that we want to read. We don't have time to learn everything that we want to learn. So I think that there has to be a way for us to focus on what we need right now and to adopt the habit, the discipline to focus our reading on what's in front of us at this point. It doesn't mean that it will necessarily be all of your reading, but I would say the vast majority, 75-80% of your reading needs to be focused on the sermon series you're working on or the next one that's coming if you're doing some advanced research. Wherever you are in terms of the growth and development of your church, you need to spend the vast majority of your time focusing on where you are, not right now, not where you necessarily are going to be. And so one of the temptations there for us is to try to adopt the practices of other preachers and leaders who are in different contexts than us. And so you need to have the self-awareness to know where you are, to know what your church needs from you, and to focus your reading so there's some specificity to your reading. Here's the trick, guys. I find that reading for leaders in the church can sometimes be a way in which we hide. We're hiding from the hard work of things that we don't necessarily enjoy as much as we enjoy a good book. And so nobody's going to complain about the preacher learning things. And so we can get away with it. But I would encourage you, if you want to improve your reading, to get specific on what you're going to read first. Second, I would encourage you to read stories, specifically to continue to read fiction. I find that fiction is a great way to grow as a preacher. It's going to help you grow, not just in having some illustrations here, but understanding the framework of how people learn and how people see the world. It's going to give you avenues into different parts of the world and ways in which you learn about everything from human nature to how to tell a good story. And so I find that fiction is a fantastic way to grow. And I'll be honest with you, this is something that I'm fairly late to the game on. I've always been very tactical and strategic in my preaching. And so fiction in the last year to three has been something that has been very good for me, not just as a preacher, not just as a leader, but just as a human being. And so I'd encourage you to learn to read stories. And, my practice is that's usually what I read at night. I want to read a book, not something on my Kindle. I want to read an actual book. I want to read actual fiction, and that's been really, really helpful for me. The third thing I think you need to learn how to read smart. I'm actually going to come back and talk about this next week and talk about strategies to learn and grow as a reader. But let me just give you a couple things here. One of the things that I do, one of the hacks that I do with every single book that I read is that I will go through the table of contents and I will actually outline the by hand, and I will basically go through the chapters, and if it has chapter headings, I'm going to go through those chapter headings so that I can get a pretty good sense of the book. And if I do that, then I have a pretty good idea of where I need to focus my time. So I don't read cover to cover most books. I usually go pick and choose the exact parts that I need based on maybe 30-minute investment of time into outlining the big picture of the book, the chapters and the major headings if those are there, and then I can usually find the chapter or 5 that I need to focus on. So those three strategies: reading smart, learning how to become a better reader, getting a good overview of a book, reading specifically, and reading stories. I think those are going to go a long way to helping you as a leader grow in your reading. Thanks so much for watching this. Hope you have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.